We are pleased to welcome Kevin Forrest, co-founder, president, and CEO of WuXi Therapeutics.
There's been some great successes in gene therapy using naturally occurring AAV, i.e. AAV9, 8, and others that are found in nature. These are primarily liver-targeted AAV. When it comes to muscle and heart, there's some real limitations. And so what we're doing is engineering novel AAV to specifically go after these tissues. And really, as you look at the field in general, for AAV, which is now a real pillar of medicine, you're seeing the next generation of companies come out with novel platforms focused on going after their tissues of interest, whether it be CNS or lung, and in our case, muscle and heart. I think that just the heart in general is really going through a renewal in terms of cardiac, cardiorenal, cardiometabolic as sort of a rebirth. I mean, when I first got started in the industry 20 years ago, you couldn't get a diabetes company funded because you had to run large outcome studies. And I remember being an investor investing in a GLP-1 company 20 years ago. It was acquired by Roche, but it takes time for this stuff to mature. It's now starting to happen. You're seeing some really interesting new mechanisms of action. The fact that delivery is being solved for some of these tissues, particularly heart, it's opening up a whole new world of targets. We just recently did a review of the genetic heart disease space. There are over 50 genetic targets in dilated cardiomyopathy, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, arrhythmogenic cardiomyopathy, and nobody could really go after these previously. Admittedly, in the CV space, patient genotyping is really not there yet. It will get there, but some of these are multiple 100,000 patient opportunities in the U.S. alone. And now that you have delivery, and in particular at our company, we have these engineered capsids that can get into the heart quite well, uniformly across cardiomyocytes at low doses. I think it's going to really open up this space. There are some companies in this space that are starting to make really good progress in various rare cardiac diseases, and you're seeing the FDA being supportive, putting together very reasonable registrational endpoints based on basically biomarkers. And so you have a flexible regulatory environment. This will open up the space, and even with Wolfram and at AskBio, they have, I think you have an AAV for congestive heart failure. So I could see once you solve the delivery issue, once you solve the manufacturing issues, these go into much broader indications. I love RNA. I got my PhD studying RNA localization and translational control. Obviously your COVID vaccine saved the world. Those are RNA vaccines. It's a very powerful molecule. There are companies that have spent many years on it. There's now several approved drugs. I think of Ionis, delivering a life-saving therapy for SMA. It was an intrathecal oligo that's effectively an RNA therapy. For our company, obviously I've talked a little bit about capsids and delivery. There are two components in an AAV. There's the capsid and there's the cargo. Our genesis was actually at the cargo level and trying to use, so DNA encodes RNA, encodes protein. Actually, RNA starts as pre-messenger RNA, gets spliced into mature messenger RNA, and that splicing process is controlled in a cell-type specific manner. So you can leverage that regulatory information that's encoded in the pre-mRNA to control where you get your product. So if you're trying to express something in skeletal muscle and not the heart, you can just leverage cell-type specific exons to do that. What if you want to shut something down another way? There's this whole class of molecules called microRNAs that you can leverage. So it's a very powerful molecule for refining the pharmacology of what you're trying to deliver, vaccines, programming therapeutics. I think that's a really exciting future, irrespective of whether you're using liposomes to deliver gene therapy or even giving it intrathecally. It's a very exciting area. We're focused at Kate on one-time curative gene therapies for genetic muscle and heart disease. And clearly the era of genetic medicine is here. I remember when I was working at the NIH as a summer intern in 1999, the Human Genome Project was being finalized, and some non-scientists came up to me and said, hey, the genome sequence now, we're done. And I was just like, no, we're not done. We're just getting started. But it's pretty incredible. Like now you go into one of our labs and we can do single cell RNA-seq under a number of different conditions. And it's like just a benchtop reagent that's affordable. So, for me, the fact that we now have disease gene sequence, we know the biology, you can go into patient cells and look at phenotypes. All the tools are there. And now, there's so many good pharma folks that even WuXi at my old company, WuXi is doing all of the small molecule chemistry for small molecule RNA targeting. Like just even the infrastructure is there to move so quickly and capital efficiently. For me, it's just an engineering issue. All the pieces are there. You just got to put them together. I firmly believe that there is just going to be a huge number of genetic medicines that are approved. Granted, they may not be as for broader, more generalized patient populations like what we're all used to, but really focused and effective drugs, and that's where we want to get to.